Alrighty. We're good. I'm just going to share this out. Close that down. Just sharing this out, and then we will go. Alright. So we should be good now. We'll close that. Okay. So we should be good. Should be good. So let's get into it. So if you're watching a live stream or you're just watching the stream back, I just want to start by saying happy Thanksgiving to everybody that does celebrate it. If you do get an extended weekend, I hope you have a good weekend. If you're spending time with friends and family, hope you have a good time, have a good reset. Holidays is usually a good time of the year for most, but not everybody. So understand that not everyone loves this time of year, right? Could be rough. So just look out for those people, and yeah, great year. I'm thankful for you guys this year. I mean, you guys have been amazing to me this year. Hopefully, we continue to grow year in, year out. But let's get into it. So, myself, like others, I love this slate. I love this DFS slate. I love it so much, and that's what makes it tough. Like we have some really, really, really good matchups, and it's hard to fit everybody into the lineup. So, yeah, top two quarterbacks are probably everyone's top two owned quarterbacks, right? Like Lamar and Mahomes, salary wise, are going to be the two highest owned quarterbacks on the slate. Mahomes makes sense if you want to save $300 because of how Lamar's played lately. Like, granted, man, it is tough because I'll say, like, besides the Jets game, which this one was just confusing, but like Minnesota, I can understand a bad game. Cleveland, I can understand a bad game. It's a division game. Cleveland's defense, especially against a run, are really good. But like the Jets, that one throws me off. And I think the thing that's been concerning to me the most about Lamar is the rushing aspect, because 14, 36, 10, 11. But like you look at Lamar before that, like he was 30 plus every game. He's 70 against Buffalo in week 1, but we haven't seen that rushing from Lamar lately. Maybe we see it in this game, but I mean it's the rushing just hasn't been there. But this is, if Lamar is going to have an explosive 30 plus point game, it's today. It's against Cincinnati when they're at home. The difficult part when doing your roster is, do you want Lamar and Derrick Henry, right? Derrick Henry's in a great spot too, same as Lamar. Do you fade Henry, though, if you go Lamar, or do you double stack and hope that Lamar and Derrick Henry get you 50 plus, at least? Right? We're talking, what, 14-1? So we're needing 50 plus from Derrick Henry and Lamar. Do you take that risk? Is that the route you go? Or do you go Mahomes, and then you just play Derrick Henry and you get the running aspect of Baltimore? And you just get Derrick Henry and say Derrick Henry's going to rush for over 100 yards. He's going to score at least a touchdown. He's going to get me at least 19 points. So that's a decision you got to make there. Mahomes against Dallas, to where, like, you look at Mahomes the last few weeks, and they've been down. Granted, you look at the defenses, right? Buffalo's defense is a hot and cold defense. They play better against the pass than the run. Denver's pass defense, I mean, they're an elite defense. And then Indy, where I think people are going to overlook Indy's defense from the beginning of the year, to where Indy was up by, like, 2-3 scores, and then they play prevent defense, allowed teams to just pass all over them. Indy's secondary is loaded now. Like Travis Ward, Moore, Sauce Gardner. That's, if not the best cornerback group in the NFL, it's top 2, right? Like if you want to say like a Seattle, a Denver, like I get it, but Indy's corners are up there too. So Mahomes has seen some pretty tough defenses in the pass game alone, but one passing touchdown in the last 3 games for Mahomes against this Dallas defense. If I'm attacking Dallas's defense, it's in the air, right? I think the run defense is really good. If you look at the improvements Dallas made with getting, a Kenny Clark, who's an interior lineman, they get Williams, who's another interior lineman. Their rookies played amazing. They signed Clowney, a really good pass rusher. Like, Clowney's not a good run stopper, but he is a good pass rusher. But you look at that, Dallas has gotten healthy as well defensively. They've gotten some players back, but I'm attacking Dallas's pass game, so it makes a lot of sense to go Mahomes in this one. And man, seeing the ownership, like Rice is too cheap. Like you should be playing Rice or Worthy easy with Mahomes, even both. Like I'm fine with both. It's just crazy where the ownership is. In neither Rice or Worthy are top options for Mahomes. It seems. Dak on the other side. Kind of the same thing. If you're going to beat Kansas City, you're gonna throw the ball against them. And Dak with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is it's very possible in this game, right? And the biggest indication to me, you go and look the game against Denver, tough matchup. Arizona, this is the one that definitely stands out as like a kind of what happened game. But against Philly, this was the big one, right? Philly's defense just came off of 2 really dominant wins. I won't say dominant, defensively dominant wins. I'll say that. Because Philly's offense did not play good, but their defense looked like the best defense in the league in back-to-back weeks. And I mean, for the first half, too, like, they played Dallas really good, and then Dallas just had an amazing second half. So, for that aspect, like, yeah, Kansas City's got a good defense as well. So, if you want to get different on this slate, like, Dak's kind of the way to go, right? You pay down from Mahomes. You pay down 200. You look at the options with Dak, and you get Pickens and Lamb, who are cheaper than the other top wide receivers, and you could pair them both. Like, it's pretty easy to pair both on Dallas' side, and you can even run it back with Rice. Like, that's not a bad thing. So, yeah, going Dak, I think, is one way to get different on this slate. Joe Burrow's interesting to me because it would be great if T. Higgins is here, but he's not. We saw the games last season between Cincinnati and Baltimore, and they're shootouts, right? They're shootouts. So to say Burrow doesn't look good because, yet again, played Cleveland and then got hurt against Jacksonville, and I'll be the first one to say he didn't look amazing versus Jacksonville, but Bengals usually start off the season slower, so you'll just give the benefit of the doubt, but obviously, the question mark is Baltimore's defense, and yet again, people are going to overlook Baltimore's defense lately for how they've played, right? But look who they've played. Like, they played my Bears. I'll say it, they killed my Bears. But after that, they played Tua in Miami. They played J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota. They played Dylan Gabriel / Shedeur Sanders. Granted, they should have lost this game. I think if Dylan Gabriel was in that game and they didn't, like, Shedeur didn't have to come in and just get blitzed every play, like, they probably should have lost to Cleveland. And then against the Jets, realistically, they could have lost that game as well. So, but you look at who they've played versus who they played up here, right? Played Buffalo, Cleveland again. But they played Detroit. They played Kansas City. They even played Houston. They played LA and, like, a different defense. Now you get Cincinnati, to whether it's Burrow, whether it's Flacco, they're going to have success passing the ball. So, yes, I am okay getting exposure and ownership to Joe Burrow today in the aspect that he's not going to be as highly clicked as Mahomes and Lamar, right? We like Lamar. I think we can all agree we like Lamar. Question marks, but we like him. Mahomes, I mean, there's not a lot to not like about Mahomes. But for the Cincinnati-Baltimore game, like, we could play Derrick Henry, and then we could just play Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and just, that's our stack for that game. So, fine with that. Detroit, Green Bay, I don't love Detroit as much as others do. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be clicked a lot. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, those guys are going to be clicked a lot. But I don't like Jared Goff as much. And granted, it's a home game for Jared Goff. But Green Bay's defense is very, very interesting to me. They're a very up and down defense. I think for the most part they play good. But there's some games like against Carolina where it's just sketchy. So, like, Goff probably is last for me as far as getting ownership and stuff like that. Goff is probably the last. I want Jordan Love for $300 cheaper than I do Jared Goff. And, like, Detroit's defense, yet again, has pieces there. But I think Jordan Love and this pass offense can thrive in this game. Granted, you look at who Green Bay has played, and yet Jordan Love has looked very bad. Like, they've lived off the run in their defense. And they're scoring points. That's the thing. Like, you look at some of their points, besides the Philly and Carolina games, they're putting up 20-plus points, but Jordan Love is just not having really good fantasy games, right? Like, good for an NFL quarterback, but let's be honest, we don't care about that, right? We care, unless you're a Packers fan, we don't care about that. We just want good fantasy numbers. So, Jordan Love being the cheapest quarterback, if you want to, like, it's so crazy. Like, you go down here, look at this, right? So 55 for the average salary, and, like, this is crazy, right? We could do this, and this makes sense. That makes sense. So to get a Jordan Love double stack is extremely cheap on this slate. Extremely cheap. And, like, you could stack some of these top options as well. But going Jordan Love and then both his top pass catchers, which I do like, I mean, it is just incredibly, incredibly cheap. So, yeah, if I had to go off of a list and just name, like, it goes Mahomes, then Lamar, then Dak, Burrow, Love, Goff. So, I don't love the Detroit-Green Bay game as much. I think of all the games, this one probably goes under. And they're going to have the lower ownership. So if you're looking how to get different, right? The Millie Maker today is a $5 one. And it's, oh my God, so many entries. So if you're looking to get different and you're looking how to get different off the field, Jared Goff and Jordan Love are going to be the lower owned quarterbacks. Attack that game, right? If you want to truly get an edge, that's how you get it. It's not saying they're going to have a good game. It's not saying they're going to outperform the other four quarterbacks. From an ownership perspective, if you want to get different, that's how you get different. You attack Jordan Love, you attack Jared Goff in that game, because that game looks the ugliest of the three. So, I mean, if it sucks, you know, you're screwed. But if it goes off, you're going to have a huge edge over everybody else playing. Running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs. Here's the thing with Gibbs. I played Gibbs last weekend. It was amazing. He is the reason I made money last weekend. I will be him and Amon-Ra. You go back and look at the game against Washington. I mean, like, he's had two really, really, really good games. You go back to week 1. Granted, we're 12 weeks down the line. 9 for 19, 10 receptions for 31 yards, right? So the receiving aspect is going to be there for Jahmyr Gibbs against Green Bay. I don't know if I want to pay for Jahmyr Gibbs on this slate. That is the thing, right? Like, Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the higher projected players on it. I get it, but, like, he's 800 more than Jamar Chase. He's 1,000 more than his teammate Amon-Ra. Like, the Dallas wide receivers, Rashee Rice. Like, I'd rather pay down and get someone like Derrick Henry, who's in a really, really good spot, and then find someone to pair down here. Like, hell, I'll even go David Montgomery and be okay with it. But, like, Jahmyr Gibbs, it's really, really tough to pay for Jahmyr Gibbs, because then you're not getting two of these known, like, big name receivers on the slate. And there's a lot of names. We'll go over that here shortly. So Derrick Henry, I love. Josh Jacobs, no. Emmanuel Wilson, no. Like, both those guys are kind of out for me, personally. One, it's Detroit's defense. They've played running backs pretty damn good all year, but we don't know what that running back room is going to look like. Like, I can't tell you how many rushing attempts Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson are going to get. I can't tell what the receiving work is going to be. I just don't know. Like, Josh Jacobs, an injury is an injury. You don't want to rush him back. Granted, it's a very important game for both these teams in Green Bay and Detroit, but you don't want to lose Josh Jacobs going forward, right? If you're going to have a playoff run, you want Josh Jacobs. So I don't know what it's going to look like. Chase Brown at 6,500, like, he makes sense. He makes sense today if you want to pair Derrick Henry with Chase Brown. Makes a lot of sense. He's going to be used in the receiving game. T. Higgins is out, so that's another plus for someone like Chase Brown at his price point. And then you just try to figure out what else or who else on this slate. Javonte, I don't love Javonte on the ground, right? It's against Kansas City. I don't like running backs on the ground against Kansas City. But if Javonte can get some receiving work, which he hasn't gotten, like, he looked pretty damn good from a receiving aspect pretty early in the season. Like, hey, he's going to get some points off of receptions. That's fine. But, I mean, lately, there hasn't been much. So, yeah, I mean, you could easily pay up. Like, I'm experimenting with it right now for my cash line of doing something exactly like that. And this is where we go. Kareem Hunt is 5,300, right? Isaiah Pacheco is back. Isaiah Pacheco hasn't been the best, right? Hasn't been the worst, but hasn't been the best. Oh, my. Corey, you know ball. You know ball, my friend. So, yeah, Isaiah Pacheco's back. I like Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt doesn't need to do much at 5,300, right? If Kareem Hunt gets me 60 yards, a couple receptions, and a touchdown, and he gets me 15 points at 5,300 against Dallas's defense, which I don't like. Like I said, I think Dallas's run defense is good. Kareem Hunt's going to get some of the receiving work. Smith will probably be involved a little more this game because he is I would say, the more consistently good receiving backs in that running back room. But yeah, David Montgomery, like 4,800 for David Montgomery, I think is a pretty good tournament price, if you're asking me. Has not been good this season, but I think he's a pretty good tournament price. And then, yeah, Keaton Mitchell, 4,500 without Justice Hill again. This is a game where if you like Derrick Henry, you should like Keaton Mitchell. I mention this all the time when it comes to running backs. Like, if you look at the running back one for the team, you should also look at the running back two, especially for the touchdown upside. Like, it's not crazy to say that Keaton Mitchell won't break off a 20-yard touchdown today, right? He's an explosive back. I love Keaton Mitchell. I cannot wait. I hope there's an opportunity where we see Keaton Mitchell get a running back one workload for this team. I would love to see what that looks like. Obviously, Derrick Henry has to be out, but I would love to see what it looks like. Keaton Mitchell is a very explosive running back. Cannot wait. So, yeah, you could go a cheap Keaton Mitchell in tournaments at 4,500. Kareem Hunt, I think, is easily playable as well. David Montgomery, I think, is a sneaky, very cautious, but sneaky tournament play at 4,800. So, some routes to go there. Moving on to the wide receivers. Getting Jamar Chase back at 8K seems criminal to me. Granted, some of the games have been a little lower, but if you go and look at the games last season against Baltimore, it's hard to not just play Jamar Chase. It's really hard to not play Jamar Chase if you go and look at the games against Baltimore. I mean, the last two seasons, we'll say. Amon-Ra, I love Amon-Ra, but man, it's starting to grow on me on how tough this one might be. It's starting to grow. Go back and look at week one. You go back and look at the last two games against Green Bay last season. Amon-Ra has not been as good. And you look at, like, the yardage perspective of it. We got 3 games so far this season over 100 yards. If he's not getting a touchdown, he has to get at least 8 receptions and 100 yards. At least. To pay off at that price point. So, I'm getting a little more cautious on Amon-Ra. I really am. I think for $300 cheaper, I prefer Rashee Rice, who, in my opinion, is in a better game script than Amon-Ra, right? Like, Dallas's offense can definitely compete. I don't think either team is going to be as successful running the ball. So getting someone like Rashee Rice at 7,500 makes a lot of sense to me. Granted, his price went down, like 76, 79, 77. Now he's at 75. Granted, they priced down a lot of receivers on this slate. I think they knew a lot of people were going to play on this slate, which typically there are a little more people that play a 3-game slate is beautiful. But yeah, Zay Flowers is down in price. For obvious reasons, CeeDee Lamb is down, but he's down 1,000. 1,000. CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens, I mean, still remains at that 7K range after DraftKings would have priced him at 8K this week. I'm going to be honest. Like, I know it's a tough matchup, but 2 back-to-back 30-point performances, they would have priced him at 8K. But they want people to get unique with their build. So, I like Rashee Rice. I like CeeDee Lamb a lot. I think CeeDee Lamb is a preference in this game. For me, personally, I think is a preference. Zay Flowers is such an interesting play to me to where he's been consistently... I don't like saying it, but consistently mid. Consistently average. Like 11, 11, 12, 11, 14, 9, 12, 14, 14. And then we'll just balance these 2 games out and we'll say 17, right? He's been consistently average. And granted, guess what we have again today? And that's a really good game for Zay Flowers. Not a lot of people are going to click him because they're either going to pay up for CeeDee Lamb or we're going to pay down for one of these receivers. We're going to pay down for a J-Mo. We're going to pay down for a Watson, a Dobbs, a Worthy, a Yosivas. No one's clicking Flowers. If you want to get different, which I'm trying to get into, if you want to get different on the slate and you're not playing Derrick Henry, you should probably target Lamar and Zay Flowers then, right? People are going to play Mark Andrews. I don't see a lot of people clicking Zay Flowers. So Zay Flowers 6,100 is going to be very low owned. Like, compared to everybody else up here, he's going to be very low owned. Compared to some of the guys down here, probably lower owned. So I think he's unique in that aspect that not a lot of people are going to click him. He's got an amazing matchup against Cincy. I'm fine with getting Zay Flowers quite a bit today. Jameson Williams, really hard to fade Jameson Williams after the last 3 out of 4 games he's had. Granted, DraftKings they lowered people's prices for a reason. Has a 0-point game and goes down $900. Like, it's really hard to not play Jameson Williams. We haven't seen him since week 9 against Minnesota at this price point. So it's really, really hard to not play J-Mo today. But at the same time, then you look at the other side of that game. You get Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, who are cheaper. Both of them are in really good matchups, right? Week 1, Romeo Doubs at 4,300 got you 8.8. Obviously, Christian Watson was not there. But I think this tier of wide receivers is where you're going to see the biggest difference in lineups, right? I think most lineups are going to contain, and I'll throw Worthy in there, but mostly these 3, J-Mo, Watson, Doubs. There's going to be a good amount of ownership between these 3 guys, and it's pretty much what's going to dictate who cashes, who doesn't. In my opinion, this is going to be a big impact on who cashes and who doesn't today. Is Williams, Watson, Doubs. If you're playing 2 out of 3, like, you have to hit both 2 out of 3. If you're playing 1 out of 3, you better hope your 1 is competitive enough with the other 2. But yeah, Worthy in a really good spot as well. Like, I think Worthy is in a really good spot to get you 15 plus, especially at his price point of 4,500. That's amazing in this game. I think he has potential to get a touchdown, and I think he has potential to get 50 plus yards in this matchup. So if you go back and look at the game against Washington, this is a similar comparison. If he gets a touchdown in Washington, right, and we'll say an extra 6.1, 6.2 yards, whatever it is, you get 16 points at 5,600, you're not mad. You get 16 points at 4,500, you're pretty damn happy. Especially if someone like Worthy can outscore all 3 of these guys, that's huge. So I think Worthy's a really good, cheap stacking piece with Mahomes. Yosivas, for the aspect that he is going to step into the wide receiver 2 role today with T. Higgins out. Had a really good game against the Bears. Okay game against New England. Game against Pittsburgh, yeah, but with kind of one of the other receivers missing, which is how the Cincinnati's offense has been for the 2nd straight week. Yosivas is interesting. Hollywood Brown's a really good cheap price to stack with Mahomes if you're going that route. Bateman, I want to shout out Bateman because Bateman is pretty damn cheap on the slate. There's a lot to like about Baltimore's offense. If you're like me and you like Baltimore's offense and you're running multiple tournament lineups, especially if you're running 150s, you want exposure to Rashard Bateman. This game screams Rashard Bateman to have a really good game. He might suck. I'm there with you. Like, he hasn't really impressed anything. But on the counterpoint, no one on Baltimore besides Derrick Henry, the occasional Lamar game, and the occasional, well, I won't say occasional, because Mark Andrews has looked good, but not great. But Bateman has potential. I want to get all the pieces on Baltimore if I'm playing 150s today. I want exposure to everybody on Baltimore. And that includes DeAndre Hopkins at his price point. Like, I want exposure to everybody on Baltimore. The way these games have gone, I want exposure to everybody on Baltimore side. So, you could shout out Tinsley and say, look at him. Besides that touchdown, it's not really anything impactful. Other than that, there's not anything down here I'm looking at wide receiver. So, kind of Bateman, and then, like I said, I'm playing 150, so I'm going to have some exposure to DeAndre Hopkins. If you're playing only a few tournament lines, I fully understand you want nothing to do with Hopkins. He almost had a touchdown last week, but yeah, Lamar overthrew him. Going to tight ends. Tight ends is very interesting to me because it only seems like there's a few plays. If you want to play Kelsey against Dallas and stack him with Mahomes, I get it. I fully understand. I don't love it. Andrews just screams play, right? Facing the worst defense against tight ends. Been one of the more consistent guys on this offense. Needs the touchdown upside. I will say that needs the touchdown upside to really hit. But at 3,600, he's cheap. So, Gesicki with T. Higgins being out makes sense as well. Baltimore has played tight ends pretty well. But for 3,100, I think he's a really good cheap piece to add in that game. And then, like, Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely's almost a stone min. He's 2,600, so $100 off. This could be a game where Isaiah Likely shines. It easily could be. Like I said, I'm getting exposure to everybody on Baltimore. But where you could get really, 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 really different, and you have to be really cautious and be aware that they could get you 0 points, is Frisker and Dwelly from Detroit with Brock Wright out, with Laporta out. These are your tight ends for Detroit. I could easily see one of these guys getting you 5-6 points, which, hey, it's not anything special. But it allows you to pay up at other spots, right? If you pay $2,500 for a tight end, they get you 5 points, so they only hit 2x. But they get you 5 points at $2,500. And let's say for some reason you want to pay up for a defense on this, and your defense gets you 10 plus, then it works on that aspect. So I do want to shout out and tell you guys to just look for the Detroit tight ends. Like I said, I easily see one of them getting 5 plus. Easily. It's just who's going to get it, right? We don't know. Defenses, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This should be your last priority when building your lineup is your defense. The offenses are great today, right? Like Green Bay, Detroit makes the most sense. Like Packers at 2,600 make a lot of sense. You could say Ravens for how they've played lately against Cincy makes sense with no T. Higgins. The Chiefs against Dallas, and just say the Chiefs defense has a really good game and Dak screws up. You could go a million routes today, but we're facing Cincinnati's offense. We're facing Baltimore's offense. We're facing Dallas's offense. We're facing KC's offense. We're facing Detroit's offense. We're facing Green Bay's offense. We're facing good offenses today. Go anywhere. This should be your last priority when building your lineup. Just say, hey, whatever I can afford, I'll put in, right? If you have 3K left over, get Baltimore. You have 3,200 left over, get Detroit. Like, today's slate is so hard to judge that I don't want to prioritize trying to figure out what defense is going to be good. If I'm left with 2,200 and I'm putting Cincinnati's defense is what it is. I just hope that Cincinnati gets a sack and a fumble and they just don't get me negative points. That's all I'm hoping for. If I play Dallas's defense, same thing. Like, just don't get me negative points. And I don't care, right? I don't want to stress about picking a good defense when all the offenses are, like, we're facing the top offenses. Like, I regardless of Cincinnati, it's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Like, I get it. It makes sense to go Baltimore. So, let's do a lineup. I did a lineup the other day. Let's do a lineup and see where we can go. So let's go Mahomes. So if I'm not playing Mahomes, I'm playing Derrick Henry. Let's go cheap. I want to put Kareem Hunt. If I'm playing Mahomes, I want Rashee Rice. And if I'm targeting that game, I want CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to make this a little easier for myself. I'm going to put Mark Andrews in. At wide receiver, I don't know if we could do it, but we're going to try. Jamar Chase. And then let's throw Cincy. So we get 27, so we can't really do anything with that. So let's switch off of Kareem Hunt and say let's go. That puts us at 3K. There's no one in the 3K range I want. So let's go like David Montgomery. Because then at the flex, I can go and get Mike Gesicki. And I could do that. So, granted, we're going to look at David Montgomery and go disgusting. I'm there with you. I get it. But I get Mahomes, and I get his stack in Rashee Rice. I get the run back in CeeDee Lamb. I get Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Gesicki, Andrews in that Cincinnati-Baltimore game. The only piece I have for Detroit Green Bay is David Montgomery. So, I get it. It's not pretty on paper. But I got a lot of the pieces that I want to get on this slate. So, that is where I'm at. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in. If not, I will let you guys get on with your Thanksgiving. It is a 3-game slate. The one good thing that is pretty nice today, there's no injuries that we're really looking at now. There's none, right? Like, quarterback, all our quarterbacks are good to go. Running back, Justice Hill got ruled out, so like Keaton Mitchell, I like Keaton Mitchell. Wide receivers, we already know T. Higgins was going to be out. Jaden Reed got announced out. You could say Matthew Golden, but it seems Matthew Golden's going to play, but even then, it's not impactful. And Brock Wright got ruled out. So the really good thing about today's slate is don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about injuries. You could pretty much just go with your lineups. If you want to do a late game swap, you could do a late game swap, but you don't have to worry about injuries. Of like guessing who's going to be in and who's going to be out. So, but yeah, if that is it, like I said, I'll let you guys get your Thanksgiving. Just yet again, thank you to everyone that has supported me so far this DFS season. We still have a few more weeks to go, so it's not the end yet. But I just truly wanted to say thank you guys. Like, we're continuing to grow. I love going through this process. It's a fun process to go through. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good DFS day as well. Like, it's a great DFS weekend if you're into it. We get the 3-game slate today. We get the showdown tomorrow. If you're a college fan, you get college on Saturday. And then we get the main slate, which is it's a big main slate as well. And then a Monday game. So pretty much if you're only NFL, you're missing out Saturday. But you get 4 out of 5 days of DFS football. So yet again, just thank you guys. Hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good DFS day as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Bears-Eagles showdown. So, yet again, thank you guys. And we'll see you in the next one.